So, a very warm welcome to you, Rajita ji, and thank you for joining us here on Diva of the Day. This is a series that we are curating specially for the Navratri week, where we're inviting yourselves and eight other women, so nine women who have been role models, who have broken stereotypes in many ways, and are impacting our world in a positive way. So, very warm welcome. You know.
Very
So,
nice
I'm
to
going to
be
take a
here.
minute.
Very nice to
Yes,
be here. Thank you for inviting me and looking forward to our conversation.
absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm going to take a very quick minute to read the most brief introduction I could put together of you. Mrs. Rajita Kulkarni is President, Sri Sri University, President of World Forum for Ethics in Business, Trustee of Sri Sri Ravi Shankar Vidyamandir Trust with over 100 educational institutions. She's also a member of FICCI Higher Education National Task Force, co-convener of CII Educational Council of East Region, and a mentor of change for Atal Innovation Mission. She has won numerous awards and accolades for being an inspiring and exceptional woman leader, both at national and international levels. So, as such, and this is the briefest profile that I could make of you, that I could cull, you are an institution in yourself. you know with this breadth and span of roles that you play, Rajita ji, like leading and managing and being on the boards of so many institutions and initiatives, starting all the way from your journey in Citibank and now to president of Sri Sri University. My question for you really is, did you set out with a personal vision statement for yourself, for your younger self, or did this all just happen organically? How did this all come to be?
Sabina, thanks for this question, and you're too kind with the introduction. This is a very good question, and I want to thank you for asking this and bringing it up, because this is also a conversation I have with many of the young girl students, or in general students that I interact with, young entrepreneurs, startup founders. When I look back in my life, and of course many people have achieved many more things, but when I look back in my life, I feel that it has been a combination of both the things. I have made plans. I have had some ideas, some North Star, visions about where I see my life going. And I have also, I think, sort of been guided in a way,
Okay. Okay.
from one thing to the other. I mean,
Hmm.
sometimes if I look at how exactly did I land up doing a particular thing, I cannot put a finger to it being only my own effort.
Hmm.
It was also maybe circumstances, it was also opportunities, it was maybe sometimes something bigger and more subtle and more
Right.
unseen than that. So
Hmm.
it is a combination of both. Definitely, I can say in my banking career, I worked with very clear ideas of where I want to be next and what I want to do
Hmm.
next. And it was also a little more visible in that sense. There was a
Okay.
more, more sort of sure shot track that one could
Hmm.
see having to follow. But even a few years in that, the way my life started sort of unraveling, unveiling,
Right.
it was a lot more than my own personal planning. I can definitely say that.
Okay. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Um, so
So
the
Sabina,
next question
the
is,
point, sorry, so the point
yeah,
here,
yes,
what I would say, especially because this is a conversation about all of us as women. What
right.
I want to say to all my women friends is, have a plan and
Hmm.
be open to more than the plan, or be
Okay.
open to a side of the plan.
Right.
Sometimes I have seen women fall off a track, off the career track, or off what they thought they would achieve, just because
Right.
that didn't happen. But
Right.
sometimes when something doesn't happen, it opens a door to something possibly bigger and better. So
Absolutely.
make a
Absolutely.
plan, but be open to more than that or different than that?
Fantastic. Um, this is a very dear question to me personally. Who were your role models when you were growing up? Be it people at home in your own family, or be it in the community that inspired you, especially if women role models come to mind, where you really said, I want to be like her in some way. And why did they appeal to you? Like, what was that quality in them that really inspired you, that you wanted to emulate?
Yeah. Yeah, at home, of course, it was both my grandparents, my grandmothers, and my mother.
Okay.
My paternal grandmother was a very, very wise woman, almost a saintly woman. And I
Wow.
think I really admired her, in her days,
Hmm.
in the 40s, in the 50s, in the 60s. In that time, she pursued her, interest in our scriptures, in our knowledge. She made effort to visit scholars, to visit places of, pilgrimage, which was of interest to her. This was at a time when these opportunities were not so easy for women. So that,
Right.
I think has always been a big inspiration for me. And my maternal grandmother was completely the opposite. She was a complete homebody. And from her, every time I would watch her, I would think of what is the limit to which you can, have a giving heart. I mean, just be in that space of I am here for you, and what, I'm available for you. So that, I have these contrasting sort of experiences and influences. And my own mother was a working woman. She started working in
Hmm.
Reserve Bank of India in the 60s, when again it was very few women were in the working, were working, and especially in our family also. And
Right.
I've grown up watching her balance, her roles as a mother, wife, daughter-in-law, and pursuing her career, professional career. And she worked for 55 years. So, and it was not always an easy ride. There were difficult moments,
Hmm.
we needed to do a lot of balancing. And she and her friends, Sabina, were a great influence for me, because I saw how they balanced their work and their homes, inculcated the right values in the children, and at the same time built great relationships. Also had a, easy, contented, but a fun life. It was not
Hmm.
it was not a, we were not like very rich or anything. But
Right.
I always found that there was a great sense of contentment and satisfaction with life.
Hmm.
There was peace at home. There was a good joy at home.
Right.
So that has been a very big influence. And I grew up, because of my paternal grandmother, listening to many stories every
Hmm.
day, new stories from the scriptures, and new stories from our mythology and Puranas, etc. So, for me, Sita, Draupadi, Urmila,
Hmm.
in the Ramayana,
Hmm.
everybody, of course, knows a lot about Sita, but if you look at the life of Urmila, so who gave up everything and, just
Hmm.
waited. So
Hmm.
all of these, Rani Lakshmi Bai, have really fascinated me. I can never stop of admiring or being intrigued. I always think what would be going on in their mind when they did it. So these are few examples, but they have really played a big role in
Hmm.
shaping, I think, my thinking and my mind. And one person, I would, one person outside India who I still admire is
Hmm.
the Queen of England.
Wow.
I really, every time I see her, I mean, she's more than 90 years old now, and the dignity, the grace, I feel the amount of dispassion she must have had to have, discrimination she must have had to have, to lead that role, to be the queen of
Hmm.
a queen, and to be a mother, to be a wife. Sometimes they ask me in interviews, who is the one person you want to meet who you haven't met. I say the Queen of England. I'm really, really amazed by her. Not just inspired, I'm just amazed. And So this is one such
Wow.
story.
Yeah.
And in the recent times, I had the chance to meet um, Puja Gurudev's mother.
Mm-hmm.
I met, I had, I was in her, I mean, I got her proximity only for a few years because
Mm-hmm.
I think she left us too early. But in those years when I met her, what really, really struck me about her, Sabina, is, her name was Vishalakshi, is Vishalakshi.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And she was really Vishalakshi. She really was the one with the broad vision. And I got a glimpse into that, how she made the whole world her family, how she ran a home which was really open home, anytime you could come
Mm-hmm.
and go. How she had a huge heart, big heart. How she was inclusive, people would come to the house who spoke Russian, German. She didn't even speak those languages, but she was perfectly comfortable. And how she lived a life of great dignity, great dignity
Mm-hmm.
and humility at the same time. So that in the recent years, in the 90s, was a great example for me. Is continues to be a great example for me. I can go on. Many women have are still inspiring me, but I will
Right.
pause here. Yeah.
But that's a very interesting whole spectrum, if you may, of women that have inspired you, from your maternal grandmom who was more independent to from the paternal to the maternal who was more, home and loving, and your own mom, and then the Queen of England. We share a common interest there because I'm a
Okay.
royal follower too. So that is really nice, and it just goes to show that no matter what a woman is doing, whether she's a working woman or a homemaker, she can be an inspiration to
Absolutely. Absolutely.
everyone. So that's great. The next question is really, a slightly delicate one. We don't talk about this too much as women, but both at a gender level as well as culturally, we face many stereotypes. We tend to be put into a certain box, and for most of us, it stops us from achieving our true ambitions. True heart's ambitions. And a lot of times we feel like being the perfect person, whether at work or as a daughter or as a wife, then mother, daughter-in-law. We want to please everyone. And there is some societal expectation also, as a woman makes the sacrifice. She's meant to keep the family together at all odds, things like that.
Yeah.
So, Rajita ji, I really want to know from you, how you have encountered these stereotypes and also overcome them. And if you wanted to share a story or an example, that would be really nice. That's,
Yeah, you said it very well, Sabina. The these are the realities of the life of a woman. Whether we acknowledge it or not, whether we accept it or not, it is there. We can definitely say that as a world we are evolving and we have come a long way. But I don't think we are yet there. If you
mm-hmm.
remember, Indira Nooyi famously always shares this story that the day she became president of PepsiCo, she came home and she was asked by her mom that well, that is outside the home, but here you have to worry about whether there is a, a can of
Right,
milk in the fridge. So it
right.
is fine. I think all of us, no matter what we do outside, we all play multiple roles, men and women alike. But what I have seen is, and even research, today, if you were to look at it like that, shows that the burden of primary caregiving does come on women. Um, Even if the men in the house are very egalitarian, very equality minded, very open, very, sharing in all that is being done at home or in terms of family responsibilities, the prime in most cases the primary responsibility comes on women, and that then plays a lot of sometimes havoc, because then guilt and fear, I think, become the permanent hands and legs of women. And I think that is the one thing we have to unshackle ourselves from. I can definitely tell you I have gone through it myself, because in the best of moments, a, a, a thought thought can creep into your mind. I travel a lot. Of course, now in the pandemic, none of us do. But
Right.
before that, my work requires me to travel, and there are times people ask me, "Oh, if you're traveling so much, then who takes care of your home?"
Yes.
So I have to tell them that it is not mutually exclusive. It can be done, but these are perceptions people have. People
Mm.
have perceptions, and I think for all of us, the important thing is first we unshackle ourselves. I
Mhm.
always speak in every forum which I speak to women. I say we don't have to be super women. We have imposed it on ourselves that we have to be good and perfect at everything. It is great if it is possible, but in most cases it is not possible, and we have to
Right.
be okay with it, because in doing that we are just crushing ourselves, and then it becomes a downward spiral. So number one, we have to be okay not to be superwoman. I am also evolving, but I think I'm getting better than my earlier years. Number
Right.
two, I think we have to drop the guilt, and that is
Mhm.
where, Sabina, for me, meditation, practicing Sudarshan Kriya, breathing techniques, staying in knowledge, taking a silence retreat once a year has really helped, because there is no there is no technique that can help you drop the
Right.
guilt. Then I cannot say now do one, two, and three, and by the third time the guilt has dropped. It doesn't work like that.
Yes.
You have to free yourself from that, and the
Mhm.
only thing that can free you is when you let go and relax, and let your mind calm down, cool down. And that is when then you are able to get a little connection with your own self. And when you get connected to yourself, you can very easily get connected to those around you or to the world around you. And it then washes away all these all this weight that bears on our
Mhm.
consciousness, on our self. So that is what I have seen has helped me. So I think number one, as I said, don't try to be a superwoman. Number two, drop your guilt. And what will help you to do that is therefore self care. Self care, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, all four is
Mhm.
important. I see a lot of women take a lot of great physical self care, which is good.
Right.
It's nice. We should do it.
Yes.
But mental,
Yes.
emotional, spiritual, all is necessary. So I have done my best to do these for myself, because the mental, spiritual, emotional, and physical self care is like the four legs of a chair. Even
Okay.
if one is broken, the chair
Mm.
is still not good enough to sit. We don't say, no,
Right.
it doesn't matter, one leg is broken, the other three are okay, I can sit. No, you will sit, fall down. So that is why all four are equally important. And many cases, many examples are there, Sabina, in life,
Yes.
especially with my travel. I have seen many times. Sometimes I've had to balance. When I used to work in city, I used to do a lot of week to week travel. So Monday to Friday, Monday to Friday. So typically Friday, I would be transiting through Singapore airport. I have done sometimes grocery shopping also on Singapore airport in
Wow.
the super. So some
Yes.
of the times, you also have to balance. You have to be smart. You have to snatch moments where you can, and make it work.
Right.
Make it work for you.
Mm.
There is no universal formula which will work for everybody. You have to find your
Right.
own unique, I think, equation, and be okay with
Mhm.
that, and then be comfortable with that. So these are
Right.
a few ideas that have worked for me.
Yes.
I'm sure there must be many more such ideas.
I can't thank you enough, Rajita ji, for this very authentic sharing, because I think all the women viewing us, the young girls and women, when they look at someone like you who's a very high achiever, including me, myself, that thought does go through our minds that, gosh, she must be having it all together. She must not be going through so many moments of self doubt and things like we do. But when you share like this, I mean, it really helps all of us watching and listening in to say that you're going through the same journey as we are and finding ways, as you mentioned. So thank you so much for that.
I want to just add here, Sabina.
Yes, yes,
I mean, you are saying maybe she doesn't. I can tell you, we have all had
yes,
our moments of, our low moments. And
yes.
the one thing I am grateful for is that I found the knowledge of meditation, of self reflection, of these
Right.
tools and techniques which enable me to deal with myself. You know, sometimes you can't
Hmm.
affect, you can't influence the environment so much. It also takes
Right.
its time to evolve. But what you
Yes.
can do is to empower yourself. And I have been focusing on that, because when
Hmm.
I take charge of empowering myself, then I don't feel overwhelmed by the situation. You know,
I
it
understand.
has happened
Yes.
in times, you know, I mean, we have been in meetings, I've in many occasions, I'm the only woman around the table.
Right.
And sometimes, you know, even in the sniggers, or in the body language, or
Yes.
in the choices of places that you
Right.
choose to go for food, or you know, things like that,
Yes.
it shows, you know, that that underlying sort of prejudice can show.
Right.
But
Right.
there, then you have a choice. Do you want to be affected by that, or you have something to collect yourself and still stand tall? And I think that is
Hmm.
an important, discovery to make for yourself.
Wow. And I think since you brought that, Rajita ji, I'd like to delve a little deeper into it because it's a very important point you make. This art of, and especially today in social media and things, when we have so much of negative backlash happening, you know, how does a person like you, with a lot of responsibility, and you also have to really think about what you say and do, how does a person like you keep it all together when there's something negative happening? And when you know that it's going to take time to change, you know, how do you just keep it all together and have that patience to wait it out? Or, you know,
You
if you
know,
could.
once, Sabina, a really huge incident happened. I don't
Right.
want to share this incident because I've written a book which will be soon out, and I have written about it in the book. So I
Okay.
would
Okay.
like everybody to read it in the book. So,
Absolutely.
but a huge incident happened, and at that time, Gurudev said to me, because I was in touch with Gurudev on taking his advice, how to resolve it, what to do, and I was in a great amount of personal distress at that
Right.
time. So I remember Gurudev saying that events are, are happening in your life to invoke the valor in you.
Wow.
So um, that has been a very important sutra of my life. That okay, this situation has happened like this.
Hmm.
What is it trying to teach me, and what is it? What is the message I need to get out of it, or what do I
Hmm.
need to learn out of it? Okay, this didn't happen from day one. There used to be times before I used to say, "Oh my God, what did I do wrong? Why is this happening to me? Why
Right.
is this person after me?" You know, all of that. But I have
Yes.
I have seen for myself, Sabina, over the years,
Hmm.
the deeper I connect to myself, the easier it is for me to be self-aware, and therefore less overwhelmed by
Hmm.
challenges or obstacles. So
Hmm.
that has been my, again, like a raincoat. You know,
Right.
rain
Right.
will happen, but if depending upon the intensity of the rain, you need a better and better raincoat. So
Yes.
I have taken that approach, and yeah, that has been helping me a lot. It has helped me a lot, actually.
Wow. That's really interesting, and I think it will help a lot of our audiences also, that inner strength, because Navratri is really the festival of,
Absolutely.
celebrating that inner goddess power within all the women.
And it is
So
true, you know.
yes.
See, we chant the Lalita Sahasranama.
Hmm.
Now, Lalita Sahasranama is the thousand names of the Divine Mother. And
Right.
if you see each name,
Hmm.
you will feel invincible. You know, the Devi, I mean, what is the Devi? Is there anything impossible for her? No. You know, Devi Bhuvaneshwari, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, all went to her for help. You know, you read
Wow.
Devi Bhagavatam, Devi Bhagavati, she is the ultimate boss. She's the ultimate boss. Everybody runs to everybody runs to her for help. Ultimately,
Amazing.
they ask her for boons. They say, now these asuras are coming. Now please do something. You please annihilate them. Or oh, now those ones you took care of, now new ones are coming. I mean, I'm saying it little very
Right.
casually, loosely, but
Yes, yes. As a story, yeah.
chanting the thousand names of the Divine Mother. Actually, Bhanu Devi,
Right.
Gurudev's sister, has said this very beautifully, and she's written also in her book Lalita, that these qualities are already in us.
Hmm.
Chanting them, bring them to the fore. So imagine those thousand names of the Devi represent thousand unbelievable aspects of her being, and those are already in us. Chanting them, listening to them, understanding them, bring them to the fore. They are already there.
Right.
They blossom through you. And then what can anyone do to you? You
Yes.
are empowered. We talk about women empowerment. Gurudev always says, who are you seeking empowerment from? You are already
Yes.
empowered. So you need to, like, the air is already there, Sabina. When you put the fan, you can feel it. So
Right.
like that, times like Navratri are times for us to experience that, that divinity within us also, in a much more, I think, exaggerated way. Then
Hmm.
it becomes more obvious. So that is why, chanting, like, one of my favorite recourses is to
Yes.
chant, meditate and to chant. It's a secret, because when
Wow.
you chant, say you chant I Giri Nandini, we are doing now
Hmm.
Navratri, chanting will start tomorrow for. So
Right.
I Giri Nandini, you chant I Giri Nandini, I guarantee you, whatever, however low you may be feeling, however, desperate or helpless you may be feeling, it will change like this. Because
Wow.
words have a very big effect on our
Yes.
consciousness. And, our consciousness is as ancient as life itself. And
Yes.
all this is it is in us, within us, as us. So we are just unveiling it little by little, little by little. So Navratri is also the time to recognize and remind ourselves that
Hmm.
all that is good, all that is pure, all that is valorous, all that is creative, all that is intelligent, all that is abundant is already in us. It is said
Hmm.
also, no, in the Bible, the one who has will be given more. So
That's right.
if you recognize that you already have, then you
Hmm.
act from that space of strength. Then you don't become the asker, can you please?
Yes.
You don't come from that space. You can, even you may be saying, can you please? But you come from that space of dignity, from that space of knowledge that you already have it. And I think that
Right.
is very powerful. You, Sabina, look at anybody who regularly does any kind of chanting, whether it
Hmm.
be Sanskrit chanting, anything. Look at how
Right.
the place blossoms.
Yes.
There is a glow, there is a shine, there is a radiance that you
Absolutely.
don't, it doesn't come from, makeup, and
External.
it
Yes.
doesn't come from even the shiniest brush.
Absolutely.
So, and that is in all of us. It is in all of us. We just have to
Hmm.
uncover it. And for me, that's why, Sabina, the period of Navratri is a very, very precious time,
Yes.
because this is the time every year I take some time off. Even, now I have organized all my books, and I start, I do a lot of the beautiful Divine Mother, different chantings. And I
Right.
feel it's like my annual sort of turbocharge,
Right.
So I would recommend this to everybody who is watching. Start learning little by little. You can, play the videos, the tapes, and practice with
Right.
it. Listen to it, repeat it. Doesn't matter, little mistake you make here and there. Write it, then you get it better, and you will see
Right.
how strong you feel, how beautiful you feel from inside, how capable, how
Hmm.
compassionate you will feel, soft in the heart and strong in the mind. I think it has helped me do that. So definitely I will recommend this.
And we're all going to take that up because it's such a simple technique which normally we might tend to overlook. We might always
Yeah.
tend to think, she must be doing something much more complex, but such a simple thing that we can all
Yeah.
inculcate.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
that brings me to the next question, which is again connected with the work that you do and all the leadership roles that you play, also in your role as president of the World Forum for Ethics in Business, where you're bringing people together, building bridges, very senior leaders, you're coaching them, multicultural, global, and a lot of these very senior positions are still a very, very male centric world, you know and we just spoke about the Devi and all these feminine qualities that you're embodying and being, in that very male dominated world. And it's a hard world to navigate, especially in these corridors of power. you know so I really would love to know a little more about how you move in that world as a woman, and how you hold your own as a woman in a male dominated world. So,
I think the biggest thing is I don't change myself.
okay.
I have seen even among some very well admired colleagues I have, or some very admired women leaders of the world, that the way they dress, the way they talk, they start wanting to be like men.
Right.
Not all, but many do that.
Yes.
Um, for me, it never worked that way. I want to be who I am. That this is what I
Hmm.
am, and
Right.
I want to be that. So I think I have always lived with that
Hmm.
gratefully. Like even wherever in the world I am, I always wear a sari. I have
Right.
worn
Yeah.
sari in minus 15 degrees
Wow.
temperature.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like it. I think it
Yes.
represents our culture. I am
Right.
comfortable with it. I I like it. It is dignified. So I always do that.
Hmm.
Also, I think you don't need to be aggressive. You don't. You have to know to be assertive without needing to be aggressive.
Hmm.
Um, and I think as women, we have to feel natural in our skin. See, there are some things which men can do naturally. There are some things women can do naturally. And I think
Right.
as a world today, we have to find ways of complementing each other rather than competing with each other.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I have, uh, I have, I have played that. So I don't want to be a. I mean, I don't want to be like them, talk like them. I cannot.
Yes. Yes.
So I have just, and I think I'm very natural. I don't demand extra privileges because I'm a woman. I work very hard.
Hmm.
I
Right.
work as much as anybody else, or maybe more. I think
Hmm.
that's one thing as women we have to do. We have to outsmart, outwork,
Yes.
outperform many
Yeah.
times over. But I don't want to fight it. I don't mind it. I
Hmm.
do it. I don't mind it. I do it. If it needs to be done, I don't mind it. I work very hard. I mean, not to get lost in hard, smart semantics, but I work
Right.
very, very hard. Sometimes, they always joke you are the only man in the room. Uh, so it's okay. I mean, it's not
Yes.
about the gender struggle. I mean, I have deep
Yeah.
respect for the male gender. My
Right.
husband, my brothers, my father have been a great part,
Hmm.
played a huge part in my life and making me who I am. So I have
Right.
only, it's complementary. But I think,
Yes.
in short, we don't have to lose who we are.
Hmm.
Um, and we have to play to our natural strengths: collaboration, measured risk taking, the ability to have an inclusive, women are, I think, naturally more inclusive
Right.
by our, the way we are constructed.
Yes.
So some of these are naturally they come to us.
Hmm.
We should play to that. And whatever the men qualities that men bring naturally because of the way they are constructed, they should bring it. Then we become an invincible team. and then there
Right.
is no competition. And I have been lucky in that sense, Sabina, to have worked with male colleagues who have been very secure, mature
Hmm.
colleagues. Some of them, of course, we have always all
Yes.
kinds of
Yes.
experiences, but largely. And
Yeah.
that's why our teams have always benefited. Our work has always progressed, and we have been
Hmm.
able to
Hmm.
do more than what we wanted to or intended to. So yeah, does this answer you?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I love the fact that, you mentioned that you're your own person, very comfortable in your skin as you navigate your world. And I think that's very important for all of us to learn, because we do get confused. Some at times, even I have wanted to emulate a more masculine, side of myself. But
Yeah.
it's very nice because we are most at ease when we are at ourselves, I guess.
Very true.
So
Very well said. Very well said.
yeah. So it almost brings us to the end of our conversation. I can actually go on, but I know that we have a little time to keep. But I am going to ask you these few last questions.
Yeah.
Beyond work, and I know that you're a woman of many interests. I know that you're an author. You've written poetry. You've written songs. I also got to know that you have a very large art collection. So I would love to know. Yeah, I would love to know that really what are these things that inspire you beyond work, like the books you read, or even the people you follow in on Instagram or social, or art, or things that really inspire you as a person.
Yeah. I think life inspires me. I am very grateful to be alive. I went through a very big transformative experience in my life. So I treat this time of my life as a sort of a second chance. So if you ask me
Mhm.
now, life inspires me. Small things, big things, nature, flowers, colors. I love colors. So,
Wow.
I'm very conscious of time. I'm very conscious of
Mhm.
the value of time. So I make the most of it. So yeah, I like to watch movies. I love to watch autobiographical or biographical movies. Life
Okay.
stories of people really touch me. They move me. They really move me, inspire me.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I
Mhm.
have seen many such autobiographical movies, and English, Hindi, both. Marathi also. I used to love.
Okay.
I love theater. Marathi. In Marathi theater. Marathi theater is a very big
Yes.
theater. So from childhood, I used to go with my mom, aunts,
Mhm.
to watch plays, and now a little less because time is a constraint.
Yes. Yes.
Uh, but theater I love. So Broadway.
Wow.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love Broadway. I have seen. I mean, I find a moment when I'm traveling to
Yes.
see if I can catch a Broadway show. And I read a lot. I have also read many biographies and autobiographies. I think people and their lives really. Now that you're
Are
asking,
inspiring. It is, yes.
yeah, they are really they touch me. But now I read a lot more of what will help me for my work responsibilities. So I read a
Mhm.
lot of geopolitics on strategy, leadership, change management, future of the world, things like
Right.
that. And
Mhm.
yeah, so that's the kind of stuff. And yeah, it is said, that one of the signs of your spiritual progress is and meeting a enlightened, illuminated master is that unknown, unseen talents come up. So as you
Yes.
said, I have been writing a lot of poetry, English and Hindi. Some of them have been composed into songs.
Mhm.
The renowned singer Asha Bhosle ji has sung one of
Right.
the
Yeah.
songs.
Yes.
So yeah, so I'm writing more on. I'm writing more songs are getting composed and will be released soon. Yeah, just that.
That's beautiful. It's a very well-rounded and a whole plethora of interests, from theater to poetry to songs, and I think that's also what lends you that effervescence. you know that's great. We will be looking forward to your books and your poetry and songs, so do let us know when they
Yes,
come out, even
yes,
on the
yes.
Alap platform. The
Thank
last
you.
two questions I have, and I think the most important, really, for our audiences and for me also, what is that message, that you would like to leave behind to young women, as well as to older women, women of all ages? Uh, you know, Perhaps some of them, the younger ones, are really looking to enter work or enter their, new stage in their lives. But
Yes.
also the older woman who might want to restart at mid age or even at retirement. What is that message that you would like to leave behind, to tell them that they are limitless?
You know, one thing I have come to believe and realize is that the world that we are living in today is a world of infinite opportunities.
Hmm.
Your only limit is your own mind. So explode your mind. It doesn't matter how old you are, it doesn't matter what you have, what your educational background is, it doesn't matter what your experience is. There is something available and waiting for each one of us. We have to move at least 30% of the way for the
Hmm.
rest of it to come and grab us. And for that, we have to get up. We have to take the first step. So do it. Whatever you are thinking, just do it. Doesn't matter whether it works, doesn't work. Let it fail, no problem. Do
Hmm.
do it again or do something else. We are really living in at a time of the global human history where never before have we been so interconnected, so interrelated, so intercommunicable, so interdependent. I can sit here and,
Hmm.
somebody in New York is watching me today, irrespective of time
Right.
zone, irrespective of. So, this kind of global platform was never available to humanity in, any time
Yes,
in the
that's
in, in,
right.
in the past. So know that you are at a time of limitless, infinite opportunities. Just explode your mind, go out there and do what you want to do. Sometimes, Sabina, we keep thinking,
Hmm.
should we not? What if it doesn't work? What if it? Yes, little amount of planning definitely is necessary, no doubt. But
Hmm.
don't make that shackle you. You know,
Hmm. Hmm.
I think we have to unshackle ourselves and just embrace life.
That's amazing. And it comes with a lot of power when you say it because you're actually living it. So, you know, and the last question, Rajita ji, and the most interesting for me to know is, what is the legacy that you want to leave behind, on this planet for all of us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think if people say she was good and she did good, is good for me.
Okay. Okay. Beyond that, any nuances, like anything really that you looking forward to accomplish, in whether
Yes,
field of education?
right now the Shrish University is a very important
Yes.
part of, is a very important responsibility. Our whole team, and I'm so proud and I'm so grateful, for the team that we are. We work
Hmm.
together, we support each other, we have each other's back. I mean, it's a really touch wood. It's a really fabulous team, and in a short time, we have grown the university to a very big scale. We are today number 6 in India, and we are known as one of the fastest growing universities in India.
Right.
And there is a lot more to be done. We are opening the first of its kind in India, maybe in the world, integrated hospital of Ayurveda, allopathy, osteopathy, naturopathy. So it's a big task. We are starting our medical colleges and many more programs. So for the next 5 to 10 years,
Hmm.
there is a lot more to be done to still keep strengthening the foundation of the university. And I hope that somewhere in the history of the university, in a corner, at least my name will be there, that I was one of the bricks uh, of this incredible institution which Gurudev has envisioned to become the academic destination of the world, like the glory of Nalanda and Takshashila.
Wow.
And with that intention, we are building this place, brick by brick, book by book, tree by tree. So if my name is on one of the bricks somewhere, I think I would have left a little a bit of me on in this world. Yeah.
That is very, very amazing, and I'm more than sure it's going to come true because in the last 10 years itself, you'll have done so much,
Yeah.
and I wish you all the very best for that. And I thank you again for coming on board and sharing so many authentic and honest insights with all our viewers. I'm going to request all our viewers to like, share, post, tag, so that your talk reaches a lot of young women and girls across both India and internationally. So thank you very much, Rajita ji.
Thank
And
you, Sabina. It was such a joy to have this conversation with you. I think you come with so much depth of your own personal experience that your questions were really thought reflecting. And thank you for asking them so that our viewers get a chance to also uh, deep dive in some of these
yes,
ideas. And I want to wish everybody a very, very happy Navratri. This time all of us are spending all our festivals in a much more distant and subdued way from each other, but let that not dampen our spirits. Let us as Gurudev said, use this time to dive deeper, use this time uh, to empty ourselves of all that is weighing on us, do some meditation, keep a little silence. We talk so much, just a little bit rest for ourselves, and read good thoughts, do some chanting. All of this is like like an annual maintenance for our
right.
body, mind, and spirit. And I'm sure that with the blessings of the Divine Mother, the world will be purified of some of these difficulties and challenges that we are all facing together. So I wish all of you a very, very happy Navratri. May the best happen to all of us.
Thank you very, very much, Rajita ji. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.